So this is a tournament match between my friend Foundit2 and Lucas2543, the former who I'm going to be referring to as JT. And you see Magmortar into Lapras, not a good matchup for JT. He does switch to Pachirisu, and Lucas does make kind of a strange switch into Oranguru, so he doesn't want to go for like a Dragon Dance on Lapras, he actually decides to switch. Pachirisu does go for Nuzzle, so it paralyzes the Oranguru, not doing that much of a difference since the Oranguru is inherently slow, and Oranguru does about 65% to Pachirisu with Psy Shock, so most likely specs damage. JT doesn't seem to have a Dark type as he goes to Medicham, so this thing is threatening a one-hit KO if it's Bandit, which it most likely is. So JT does go for Zen hit, but really interesting play. He did predict a switch, and he does manage to hit Illumise for super effective damage, but now this Illumise is threatening a one-hit KO with Bug Buzz, so JT does go hard Magmortar, threatening Fire Blast, and here he actually makes a really good double. He does go straight to Pachirisu, probably expecting Lapras. But Poliwrath comes out, so revealing more of Lucas's team, that's kind of good. He does get a nice Nuzzle into Illumise, so always nice to paralyze a Pokemon as fast and annoying as Illumise. It gets paralyzed, so it can't move. And Pachirisu does go for a Thunderbolt, just getting some shit. Illumise gets paralyzed again. And we are most likely going to see a Prankster Roost from Illumise, and sure enough, Roost does come in clutch. Illumise does not get paralyzed for a third time, and JT does go for a U-turn, so he goes back to Magmortar. This time he's threatening Fire Blast again. He could go for another double, and sure enough, he does go for another double. This time, Lucas does not go to Poliwrath again. He does go to Dialga, so it's not exactly a great matchup because you wouldn't want your Dialga getting paralyzed for no reason at all. But JT does go for the Nuzzle, so now this Illumise can actually go for a Prankster Encore, so Pachirisu is now locked into Nuzzle, doing very minimal damage, and Illumise can just get a free Roost in its face. But JT actually just switches back to Magmortar. Illumise is staying really healthy, and this Illumise is looking incredibly annoying for JT's team. He does go for Will-O-Wisp, so it does catch the Poliwrath, which is really good. So he does go for he does go for Thunderbolt, and this Poliwrath goes for Liquidation. So it's super effective, but it honestly doesn't do that much thanks to the burn, and leftovers are reviewed. So this Poliwrath is most likely running the Bulk Up, Drain Punch, and Liquidation set, I'm pretty sure. Magmortar does go for Thunderbolt again. It is faster and it manages to kill Poliwrath. And now Oranguru comes out. This thing is threatening a one-hit KO. It is slower, of course, but Specs Psy Shock should be enough to take Magmortar out, and sure enough, Magmortar does go down after getting some Fire Blast chip onto Oranguru. Now Medicham comes out. This thing is threatening a KO with Close Combat, and sure enough, Oranguru does go down. And we are most likely going to see Illumise come back in, since that thing is kind of annoying. Medicham is locked into Close Combat, and GT just goes hard Pachirisu, so it takes a little bit of chip from Bug Buzz. Not that much damage. Super Fang comes out. It cuts Illumise's HP in half. Bug Buzz comes out again. Pachirisu lacks a reliable form of recovery, so it's forced to switch out with U-turn. And Illumise can kind of get a free Roost. So from what we can see, this Illumise actually does go for the Bug Buzz for some reason, and it does catch Alcremie. Doesn't do that much to Alcremie, and Dialga comes out. So this thing is threatening super effective Heavy Slam, of course, which is a one-hit KO on the not so physically defensive Alcremie. Alcremie does go for the Calm Mind, and he does go for the Terra Ground to take neutral damage from Heavy Slam. 44 is pretty good damage, but now you can see the Terra Ground, Terra Blast coming out. Does about 75%. So Alcremie is leftovers confirmed, and you can just go for the recover, just keeping itself healthy. Dialga does go for the Dragon Tail here. And unfortunate miss, honestly, because if Dialga had gotten that Dragon Tail, it most likely wouldn't have gotten KO'd. And good of Lucas to predict recover, but pretty unfortunate miss from his Dialga. Lapras does come out, and this thing is going to be taking quite a bit of damage from Alcremie. So Alcremie does go for the Alluring Voice. I'm not exactly sure if Terra Blast would have done more damage. Honestly, it probably would have. But Lapras just goes for the Dragon Dance, and now you can easily KO Alcremie with Ice Ghost Spear. So Alcremie does go down. It shouldn't be a problem as JT can just go to Pachirisu, but he does decide to review Scovillain, so Lapras does go for Waterfall. It does about 55%, and now Scovillain should be faster since it is the inherently higher base speed stat, and its speed stat is doubled thanks to Chlorophyll in the Sun. Of course, Energy Ball does not kill this Illumise, and Illumise can just go for a Thunder Wave, just slowing the Scovillain down, but JT actually makes a really good prediction. He does predict it, and he goes hard Pachirisu on Thunder Wave. So nice prediction. He does manage to heal his Pachirisu quite a bit. Illumise gets paralyzed, and Pachirisu just finishes it off with Thunderbolt. So really good play from JT there, just preserving health on his Pachirisu. Lapras does come out, and this is not looking to be a good matchup. JT actually goes for Super Fang, And I was kind of confused as to why he did this, but he told me that he clarified to me that Lapras's only possible Terra type is ground, so he wasn't risking losing to a Terra ground Dragon Dancing Lapras, but Lucas here actually decided not to go for it, and he just Dragon Dances twice in the face of a Pachirisu and goes for Ice Cold Spear. So he does get the KO, but Medicham will be able to finish it off with a priority Bullet Punch. And the last Pokemon is revealed to be the Dunsparce. So this thing is probably running the Calm Mindset with, I think, Boom Burst and what else? Earth Power for Steel types. So it does go for the Calm Mind. Scovillain does go for Sunny Day, and the Dunsparce goes for Calm Mind again. So now Scovillain can potentially go for a Fire Blast. It goes for Fire Blast, but unfortunately it misses. But it's actually okay since the Dunsparce just goes for a Calm Mind again, and now Scovillain can go for a Stomping Tantrum, which has its damage output boosted since Fire Blast missed on the previous turn, and that's actually really good. He gets a crit. He gets a nice crit, and Scovillain can just go for Fire Blast again. So he's just getting some chip. The Dunsparce can heal up with Roost, but this Scovillain is just going to be chipping it down. So JT actually just goes to Ogerpon Cornerstone. He does review his final Pokemon. IV Cudgel should do about 40%, maybe a little bit less to Dunsparce. That's about 47%, pretty good damage. Earth Power comes out. It's not a one-hit KO, but it does guarantee a 2-hit KO on Ogerpon. Ogerpon can just get another IV Cudgel for free. And we don't see a Roost from the Dunsparce, which means it's probably in range of... But keep in mind that Lucas has not used his Terrestrialization yet, and he's free to do it whenever he wants to. So he does actually go for the Terra Fairy, but JT covers for it, and he does go for the Ice Punch. So a really good game, and GG's to both players.